So now, guess who's jealous of Adele? Beyoncé. Beyoncé needs auto-tune. Adele, Aretha, Celine, Dionne Warwick, and Mariah. They need nothing.
Power God. This is why Adele has to get on the podium and thank Beyoncé. When actually she did it because of my manager, my label, my A&R, and all of the I created for her to exist.
Wendy Williams has people talking again after reigniting a controversial claim that Adele was actually afraid of Beyoncé. For years, Wendy hinted at something deeper going on behind the scenes, but most people brush her off as being messy or try to create unnecessary drama between two global icons. But now, that narrative is starting to look very different. What the world saw as a heartfelt tribute, Adele breaking down in tears at the Grammys and dedicating her award to Beyoncé, may not have been just admiration. According to growing speculation, Adele was under intense pressure behind the scenes. That emotional moment on stage, some believe it wasn't just gratitude. It was fear. For a long time, the internet even joked about a strange pattern. Celebrities repeatedly thanking Beyoncé during award speeches, even when she had nothing to do with their win. It became a meme, but not everyone thought it was funny. Viral compilations began surfacing, connecting the dots between various female artists whose careers mysteriously stalled or whose lives ended tragically. Names like Aaliyah were often mentioned, along with other controversial figures. One particularly disturbing story involved Kathy, alleged to be connected to Jay-Z, who was reportedly found dead just days before a planned tell-all interview with journalist Liz Crokin. These theories all pointed toward one chilling idea. What if there are powerful forces in the industry that demand loyalty and punish those who don't comply? And then there's another layer to this. Many of these compilations feature J. Cole's track, She Knows, playing in the background. In the song, he references Aaliyah, Lisa Lopez, and Michael Jackson, three major figures whose deaths have long been surrounded by unanswered questions. And according to rumors circulating online, the She in She Knows might not be symbolic at all. Some believe it points directly to Beyoncé herself.
Beyoncé had one of the best videos of all time. One of the best videos of all time.
Beyonce, it was so monumental. We fucking adore you. You are our light.
Beyonce and I started out around the same time, and just like all of her fans, I fell in love with her. The first time I saw her, from her singing to dancing to acting, she can do it all. She's a triple threat and one of the most talented people I've ever seen.
And the fact that Beyonce made a country record changed the game. So thank you. Beyonce,
I know the mother niggas are tricking.
you changed my life. So thank you so much. I definitely want to say thank you to Beyonce.
And thank you, Beyonce. You're amazing. Yeah.
I also have to say thank you to Beyonce. Just thought we would keep this music. Everybody, Beyonce, you got great music. We all love to dance to it. We all love you.
And it doesn't stop there. Popular blogger Storm Monroe also stirred the pot with a bold claim, suggesting that the reason so many major artists constantly thank Beyoncé like she's untouchable is because, in a way, she is. According to him, the music industry operates on a cycle where certain figures are elevated to almost royal status. At one point, that title allegedly belonged to Madonna, who dominated as the industry's queen. But over time, that spotlight shifted and Beyoncé took the throne. And here's where it gets even more interesting. As part of this unspoken system, artists, even global superstars like Adele, are expected to publicly show respect and give credit to the one at the top, not just as a gesture of admiration, but as something much deeper. Because in an industry built on power, influence, and image, staying in line might not just be about success, it might be about survival.
Beyonce is a witch. She's a very powerful witch. She's heavy into African spirituality. She is a daughter of, I believe, either a daughter of Oshun or Yemaya. I go back and forth. I feel like it's Oshun though, but if I got it wrong, I got it wrong. But nonetheless, she's a high ranking witch. Madonna is a very high ranking witch. She is a high priestess. That's just pretty much what it is. Well, of course, the main thing Madonna practices is Kabbalah, but then there's different versions of Kabbalah, just like there's different versions of African spirituality. But then I also believe that in addition to African spirituality, I do believe that Beyonce is into dark magic and black magic as well. Her and Jay-Z.
And here's where things take an even darker turn. Storm Monroe wasn't even the first person to bring up the Oshun worship allegations surrounding Beyonce. The conversation actually goes back to her Lemonade era, specifically that iconic yellow dress that instantly caught everyone's attention. Fans quickly pointed out that the visuals, styling, and overall aesthetic seemed heavily inspired by Oshun symbolism. The imagery spread fast, and people began analyzing every detail, trying to decode what it all meant. But what really raised eyebrows was the timing. The Lemonade era, filled with all this powerful, symbolic imagery, was the same period when Beyoncé lost the Album of the Year Grammy to Adele. And Adele's reaction? Instead of celebrating one of the biggest wins of her career, she took the stage emotionally overwhelmed and turned the entire moment into a tribute to Beyoncé. She praised her, thanked her, and even seemed on the verge of breaking down. Almost like this wasn't just admiration, but something far more intense. To some viewers, it felt unusual. To others, it felt like there was a deeper story playing out behind the scenes.
She is my icon of my whole life.
My life is Beyonce, and this album for me, the Lemonade album, was just so monumental. Beyonce.
Lemonade. So a piece of me did die inside as a Beyonce stan. I'm not going to lie, because I was completely rooting for her. I feel like it was her time to win. Obviously, the visual is very new, and and the Grammys are very traditional. But I just thought this year would be the year that they would kind of go with the tide. And I am, of course, very, very grateful having won it. But I felt the need because I love her, because I felt like she was more.
And then things got even more intense. Adele didn't just thank Beyonce once. She went all in during her speech. She was emotional, overwhelmed, and almost fixated on giving Beyonce credit. But what really caught people off guard was what happened after the cameras stopped rolling. Adele later revealed that she actually went backstage to Beyonce's dressing room just to thank her again. Not only that, she reportedly told her she deserved the award more. At that point, fans started raising eyebrows because this wasn't just a simple shout out anymore. It felt excessive. Almost like Adele was going out of her way to make one thing clear. She wasn't a threat. In interviews, Adele even broke down how the Grammy...
Guess who's jealous of Adele? Beyonce. Adele is the voice, and Adele does not have to lose, 50 pounds to impress us. And Adele is just a beautiful, gorgeous, regular woman that we can all relate to. Like a real body. Adele has a live-in lover and a brand new baby, and Beyonce's got a husband and the Blue Ivy baby.
Looking back now, a lot of people are starting to rethink what Wendy Williams was saying all along. At the time, she got heavily criticized, but today, some believe she might have been connecting dots others ignored. Because according to online chatter, any female artists who openly clash with Beyoncé seem to face serious backlash in their careers. One name that always comes up in that conversation is Carrie Hilson. Back in the day, Carrie found herself at the center of controversy after a leaked remix of her track, Turning Me On, went viral. In that version, she appeared to throw direct shots at Beyoncé, with lyrics many fans saw as undeniable shade. She even seemed to reference Beyoncé's hit Irreplaceable with the line, "Move it to the left," making the message even more obvious. And it didn't stop there. A clip also circulated showing Carrie refusing to hold a magazine once she realized it featured Beyoncé and Jay-Z on the cover. A moment that only added fuel to the fire and intensified the narrative that there was real tension behind the scenes. From that point on, fans started watching closely, and many believe Carrie's career took a noticeable hit after that controversy. Now, whether that was coincidence or something more, that's still up for debate. But in the world of rumors and speculation, moments like these only can...
The magazine. Just shout out Juicy Mac.
And from that point on, things were never the same for Carrie Hilson. Many fans believe her career took a major hit after that controversy, and even she later hinted that there was more going on behind the scenes. In an interview, Carrie suggested that the diss track was entirely her decision, claiming she was pushed by powerful industry figures to record and release it. But by then, the damage was already done. Public perception had shifted. The backlash had already hit, and her momentum in the industry started to fade. Whether it was bad timing, industry politics, or something else entirely, her career never quite recovered to the level it once had. And that's where the comparison gets interesting. Because while Carrie took a more confrontational path, artists like Adele did the complete opposite, showing overwhelming praise and respect toward Beyoncé at every opportunity. To some people, that contrast says a lot. One approach led to controversy and decline. The other seemed to keep everything smooth and untouchable. Now, again, there's no confirmed proof tying these outcomes to anything beyond industry dynamics and public reaction. But in the eyes of many fans, the pattern is hard to ignore.
No one could ever compare to Beyoncé. Let's just say the name that we're discussing. No one could compare. No one will for a very, very, very long time. And that was never my aim either. However,
it was framed that way.
Well, no, it was absolutely framed that way. It was written that way. Was not my lyrics, was not my writing.
And then there's Blue Cantrell, another name that often gets pulled into this conversation. Back in her prime, Blue was on fire. She had major buzz, hit records, and at one point, multiple labels reportedly competing to sign her. Everything about her trajectory screamed next big star. But according to online speculation, that momentum didn't last. In 2003, Blue released her second album, Bittersweet, right around the same time Beyoncé was stepping out as a solo artist and beginning to dominate the spotlight. From that moment on, fans started noticing how quickly Blue's rise seemed to slow down. Now, to be fair, the music industry is unpredictable and careers shift for all kinds of reasons. But that didn't stop rumors from spreading. On top of professional competition, there were whispers circulating about possible tension behind the scenes, including claims linking Blue to Jay-Z. None of it was ever confirmed, but the rumors alone were enough to keep her name tied to controversy. And in an industry where image is everything, even speculation can change everything.
Jay-Z romantically?
No. No, I can't answer that. I can't answer that.
Oh, she's touching him up the neck. Look! You see?
Why do people not want to let the Jay-Z Blue Cantrell thing go?
I didn't think it would last, though.
What, me and him?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you're above 25.
Why, he needs somebody younger than that?
At the end of the day, yeah.
Why do you say that?
Because I think at the end of the day, a younger, less savvy to the ways of the world broad.
Somebody a little bit more naive.
Some fans even try to connect the dots to lyrics and symbolism in Beyoncé's music. For example, in her track Signs, listeners point to references involving zodiac signs and emotional betrayal, sparking online theories about whether certain lyrics were inspired by real-life experiences or just artistic storytelling. Some fans even speculate about connections between zodiac references like Sagittarius and Pisces, linking them to public figures mentioned in online discussions. However, none of these interpretations have ever been confirmed by Beyoncé or anyone officially involved. They remain fan theories and lyrical analysis. Similarly, there have long been rumors and speculation surrounding other artists like Maya, especially during her collaborations with Jay-Z on tracks like Best of Me Part 2. Fans often point to their on-screen chemistry and try to read deeper meanings into it, though again, nothing has ever been officially verified. Years later, Beyoncé's live performances, especially emotional renditions of songs like Resentment, have also been heavily analyzed online. Some viewers interpreted slight lyrical changes as personal storytelling, while others see it simply as artistic expression and lip performance variation. At the end of the day, these moments continue to fuel online debates, but they remain interpretations, not confirmed facts.
Oh, she was attractive, but been riding with you for 12 years. Why did I deserve to be treated this way by you?
Over time, more online speculation began circulating, with some blogs and gossip platforms reporting anonymous claims about industry tensions. One outlet, Media Takeout, allegedly published and later removed a story involving Beyoncé, Jay-Z, and Maya. However, nothing from those reports was ever officially confirmed, and the removal of the article only fueled more online discussion. As the rumors spread, Maya herself publicly denied the claims, strongly rejecting the narratives being attached to her name. She emphasized her independence, professionalism, and commitment to her own career and values, making it clear she did not want to be linked to any of the speculation. Her team also addressed the situation, stating that online rumors had created unnecessary backlash and stress, a reminder of how quickly misinformation can escalate in the digital age. Still, online conversations didn't slow down. Some fans continued debating old interviews, lyrics, and performances, trying to connect unrelated dots and build larger narratives around industry dynamics. Even Wendy Williams has often been brought into these discussions, with supporters and critics divided over her past commentary on celebrity culture and power structures in the music industry. At the end of the day, much of this remains fan interpretation, online theory, and social media speculation, not verified fact. But that hasn't stopped the internet from asking questions, debating stories, and revisiting old moments through a very different lens. So the question still stands: what do you think is real, and what is just the internet building a story?